I would have words, sir. You again? Why are you pursuing me? Addition, treason, revolution. That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of argument, let's say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I have a kicker's arse about politics. Or I give a kicker's arse about politics. It was business, only business. Who's this? Both know I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Oh no! What's all this commotion? Seven hells. For the others to spread on Cerciera, the killer may still be close. I'm surprised they weren't just like, he did it! Points at me. Oh my god. Bold adventurer, I would know more about your relationship with the victim as well as the events leading up to his death. This man is responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. What news, Private Saravain? Where is the merchant? Murdered? Damn it all to the seventh hell. He was not simply murdered, Private, he was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was already ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. Revolution. Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the fragment chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries as well as the results of your own investigation. Master Alphanaud has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. I like that sound. I really do. I wonder who did this to him.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've have made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Makes sense.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Oh my god.
Pardon?
An Oligon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated.
Oh,
Oligon
snap.
inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cotonou Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon, one which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
I should be glad to know the truth, and yet, the thought that all this chaos was a product of one man's lust but for power sickens me. How long do you think they intended to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. You are, of course, the Scion best suited for this task. Private Saravane, do take a moment to visit the Hall of Flames and make inquiries at the earliest available opportunity. Begone, whelp, this is no place for children. I'm sorry. I was looking for you, mister. You said you were looking for a man who left with my parents. You know this girl? So he visited Stone's Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man where my parents were with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister. Of course, but first, I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by the pillar over there. We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans and Aether-starved Primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Menphilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Don't you dare say revolution, Alphanod. Mochaia says in Menphilia, I know this is son, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the 12's Wood has taken a turn for the worst. I'll explain in detail once you arrive. Uh-oh. Something big is happening. The 12's Wood? Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I have received no reports of Ixali activity, which leaves the Sylphs? Go, Mochaia. You know as well as I that the appearance of Primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. We're going this way. It's relieved to see you healthy and hale, Mochaia. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. Clearly, the only injury Alphanod suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. The same. We'll pick that one. Oops, I forgot to put some on. Oops. What's this? More bracelets. Oh. Oh. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business then, I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the primal Ramu. I'm sorry, may have? Then it is not certain. The Elder Seedseer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylph and the Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but the fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Rama is reputed to act only in defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known, if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch to the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, 'twould surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon, you foresaw this eventuality and did not prevent it? I told Papalimo, I suppose I could have reported things to Menphilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we would do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Remu once, right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came tramping through the forest. And so long as Castor Morian stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Yida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for a sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove the number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. Just like that of the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind that the Titan and the Kobolds, once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a Primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. MochaMassiah, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramuh can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. True. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can... Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramuh's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested our personal involvement, your personal involvement, MochaMassiah. Pray report to Commander Uloi at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Stoic nod. Seal yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will, of course, lend you whatever support you require. Quest accepted. Woo! I could probably port my arse over there, yo. MochaMassiah, of the Scions, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of the Primal has ever caused alarm and ease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seedseer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Okay. 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 This way. Show me in, silent conjurer.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty.
You hear that, Tat? She bids us welcome.
I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for Little Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelves Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Have care. Okay.